Hey there, I'm Anastasia, a mobility and strength coach, and today we're going to go over how to get your front splits. So I'm going to give you my top secret formula to be able to get your front splits. And just to be clear, what the front splits are is it's this position when one leg is in front of you, one leg is behind you. The middle splits, or side splits, is when your body's in the middle and your legs are out to the side. So we're not doing that today. That's another position. Today, we're focusing on this position. So the main things you want to keep in mind is we're going to need one exercise to open up the front leg, the hamstrings. We're going to need another exercise to open up the back leg, the hip flexors and quads. And then we're going to work one exercise to strengthen the full position. And finally, we'll end with testing the full position. And common times, people confuse two different types of front splits. There's this split, which is not a strict front split, and a lot of ballerinas and dancers use this, but we're gonna be focusing on this position where both of your hips are facing the front because it actually opens up the hip flexors. And this area really gets tight from sitting a lot, which is basically all of us, we all sit a lot. So it's nice to get that nice and open so your hips are healthy and happy. So let's get to it. Get ready to unlock this position. So for all these exercises, all you need to do is do this routine once a week, and maybe if you have extra time, 2 times a week, but not more than that. So just like strength training, we want to work our muscles hard and our joints, and then rest and let the muscles heal and recover. If you do this too often, it's actually counterproductive to your progress because you won't have enough time to recover in between. You could do some light stretching, but not this intense training session. So you want to treat this as an intense training session and go as hard as you can. What you're going to need today is a stick, especially if you have bad balance, some yoga blocks, the more the better, 4 is good, and then a kettlebell. A very light kettlebell, hopefully you have like an 8 kilogram or something around there, and that's all you're going to need for today. So the first exercise we're going to go over is to stretch the hamstring. And when we're stretching the hamstring, we're also, as a bonus, going to be strengthening our quad. So you're going to need your nice yoga block tower. Alternatively, if you want, if you have like a bench that's used for lifting, you can use that as well. But if you don't, the blocks work great. And we're going to need our kettlebell. Worst case scenario, if you don't have a kettlebell, you can use ankle weights. But the kettlebell's nice because, as you can see, it can go around my foot. So you're going to bring the leg over with the knee hanging off. Then we're going to connect our body to our thigh. And you're going to hold on to the blocks so they don't fall over. Then the next step is I'm going to straighten my leg and then hold 3 seconds in the stretched position. I'm going to really feel my quad firing and working hard. And then you're going to relax down. And then repeat. Lift the leg, hold 3 seconds as straight as you can, and lower down. Always, your body's going to want to cheat to make things easier. Oh, I got an ab cramp from doing that. So your abs are going to be working as a bonus, which is awesome. But your body's going to want to cheat to make things easier by lifting the torso. So as my leg lifts up, I'm going to want to do this. But if I do that, then I'm taking away from the stretch. So in your mind, you're going to really have to focus on keeping your body glued. And that's why I'm also using my hands a lot to pull myself in so my body doesn't move anywhere. So I'm here, locked in, I'm straightening, pulling myself in, and relaxing down. And I love this exercise as well because it really teaches you how we need to engage our muscles to support our joints. So whenever you're stretching the hamstring, you really want to be engaging the opposite muscle, which is your quad, as hard as you can. So then this ensures that you're going to your flexibility safely, which is what we always want because we don't want to hurt our joints and we want to make sure we stay strong. So you're going to do this for 6 reps per leg, 3-second pause at the top, 3 sets in total. So you're going to do 1 round, 6 reps, and then rest and repeat again. That is the loaded knee extension. So now, time for the second exercise, which is to open up the hip flexor and the quad, so the back leg of our front splits. You're going to need a wall, a block, or if you don't have a block, just padding for your knee so it doesn't hurt, and our weight. So the closer your knee is to the wall, the harder it is and more intense of a stretch. And then the farther it is, the less intense it is. So you can adjust it that way to your current level, but you want to work towards being all the way flush with the wall. And then the front leg, we want the foot either under the knee or in front, so there's space for our hips to go down. If you're here, I'm so crammed, there's no space for me to go down. So that's why I want it all the way here, so then I can actually sink down. And again, just to remind you, if going to the wall is too intense, I can be all the way over here and then go down. That makes it much easier and less intense. So, but because I can go all the way to the wall, fuck it, I'm gonna go and get a good stretch. And then position number 1 for the arm is easier, is just keeping the weight by the side. Why we're using the weight is because it helps to pull you down into the stretch and to contract the correct muscles. So this time, we're trying to contract the butt just like you're doing a hip thrust as if you're working out and lifting weights. So I'm bringing my butt as close to my foot, squeezing it. Immediately when you squeeze it, you should feel it's more intense of a stretch. And then the weight is on the same side as the back leg because that's the side we're stretching and the weight is helping us to stretch. So I squeeze my butt. I'm gonna go down. I'm gonna hold 3 seconds. 1, 2, 3. Come up and then re-engage the butt. Squeeze as hard as I can. Go down. Hold 3 seconds. Come up. Now a harder version is to put the weight over your head. So it's gonna stretch all the sinus tissue, making it a harder position. So again, squeeze the butt, go down, hold 3 seconds, and then repeat. You know if you're not ready for this position if you feel it in your lower back. Because oftentimes, if the butt's not contracting or the hip flexors are very tight, the lower back will engage instead, and that's not good. That's not where you want to be feeling it. So then if you feel your lower back, that means you're not ready. So keep it here for now until the hip opens up more, and then eventually you can evolve to the other variation. So remember, you're going up and down, and then you're gonna do 6 reps here, and the last rep, you're gonna hold 15 seconds, just to give yourself a chance to really sink down nice and low and open up the hip. And obviously you're gonna do that on the other leg. And you're doing 6 reps, last one 15-second hold. Both legs, you're gonna do 3 rounds. So both legs, and then go back and repeat the first leg again for a total of 3 rounds. If you get cramping in the foot or your foot is tight, that's normal. Just come out, massage it, let it relax, and then go back into it again. And honestly, even if front splits is not a goal for you, doing this to open up the hips from sitting is so amazing. And yeah, just to make sure your hips are healthy and happy. And that's exercise number 2. Third exercise is we're gonna do an active front splits position. So active is very important, not just to do the passive one, because we need to strengthen the muscles around the joints so they feel safe and supported in the position. Then your body will open up and get lower. So don't avoid doing this work or else you won't get your front splits. Or even if you do, you won't be able to do anything with them. So you're gonna need a yoga block, and especially at the beginning a stick, but eventually as you get stronger, you wanna take away the stick. So you're gonna start standing and you're gonna bring your back foot back as far as you can. So our goal is to not touch the floor. That's why we have the block, because even if I end up being a full 180-degree split, the block will help me not to touch the floor, so I stay very strong and active. And the stick makes it easier because I can deload some of the weight of my body and push down into the stick to make this exercise easier. So higher obviously is easier. And then the actual position is I'm gonna go down, bend my knee, and then come up, hold 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, go down, and then up, hold again for 5 seconds. And you're gonna do this 5 times on each leg. So 5 reps, 5-second hold each rep. And then eventually, you're gonna be able to get lower and do this from a full front split position. So up, hold 5 seconds, relax down. And then eventually, you wanna take away the stick and just use the strength of your body to lift up, hold 5 seconds, and then relax down. And doing that, for reps, just balances very hard. We're gonna do, again, 3 sets. So basically all the exercises, you wanna do 3 sets. So you're gonna do 1 leg, other leg, rest. So you actually have energy to do this with good form because it's very, very tiring. And worst case scenario, if this is hard for you, you can use even 2 sticks and just start off higher. There should always be a level for everybody that you can work this from. So again, don't die, make this easier for yourself. And the most important thing is, again, just like with the previous exercises, for my front leg, I'm really squeezing the thigh. The back leg, I'm squeezing the thigh as well to keep the knee straight, and I'm squeezing my back butt cheek. So the same principle applies to all exercises because we're working the same position. They're just getting progressively harder and harder to integrate. But that's why it's important to teach your body to make sure it's contracting all the correct areas so then you actually unlock the position. And this is front split isometric reps. Hope it's fun and you don't die too much. So finally now, we're gonna test the full position by going to our passive front splits. Why I'm putting air quotes is because you're never actually fully relaxed. Oftentimes people think when they're in the passive stretch, they're not doing anything, they're just a noodle, but that's not true. So we wanna actually be contracting our muscles to support the joints, but they're not like contracting in a burning way, they're just like on and there. So the tighter you are, the more blocks and support you need. So I'm gonna show you with 2 blocks, but if you need more, grab more, or if you even need like a big pillow or a ball, do that. And then 1 leg behind, 1 leg in front. And just like we learned from all the other exercises prior, the front leg, because we're stretching the hamstring, you're contracting the quad, so it's locked out and strong. The back leg, we're squeezing the butt, hard like a rock, to extend the hip, and then I'm trying to stay upright. That's why I have the blocks under my hands and my hip. If I was floating here, this would make it so much more difficult and my body wouldn't feel comfortable and natural being here. So you actually want to use support so you can teach your body that it's safe in this position so it feels comfortable to open up. So you're not cheating by using tools, you're actually helping. And by my body pushing down into the blocks, it makes it more realistic to what it feels like being on the floor. Because when I'm on the floor, I can push my hips all the way down. So this replicates the same sensation. And then as you get lower over time, you can take the blocks away. Remember, squeeze, squeeze, until you get all the way to the floor. And the full position, you want to hold for 2 minutes, at least. And you're going to at least do 1 round, but hopefully you have enough time to do 2 rounds of 2 minutes on each side. So in total, 4 minutes, so that'll take you about 8 minutes. And you're trying to keep everything squeezing the whole time, don't relax. Maybe you can put on a good song or watch a movie to distract yourself from the pain. And you're trying to breathe deep and calm. To calm your body down, calm your nervous system, because if you have fight or flight breathing, where you're breathing fast, your body's never gonna feel comfortable here. So we mentally have to teach our body to relax and grow comfortable here while keeping our joints safe and supported. And so that is the full front splits position. So now you have the top secret recipe to getting your front splits of doing 1 exercise to open up the front leg, back leg, full position, and this final position. And remember, you want to do it once a week. Maybe you have extra time, 2 times a week. And yeah, let me know how your progress goes. If you have any questions, put it down in the comments. And you can always reach out for more one-on-one coaching if you need something specifically for your unique body and needs. But otherwise, try this out. This has worked for many of my clients, and I'm sure it'll work for you too. Get ready to get swole and sexy.